Okay, so I don't really care about the pictures unlocks. Let's go back to finishing this 16 by 16. Alright, so we're almost done it. So like what do I gotta do left? The first thing I can think of is to look at this pair of blocks that only have one indicator. And if I were to say, well, obviously if we have to have F anywhere in the row and it's already in the box, then it has to be here. That's not even a question. So F is just there, and we solved it. Hooray. Also F is here. Hooray. Also F is here. Hooray. And the last digit of that box is, well, let's just run through it and find out. Oh God, it's a G. There you go. It's that simple. No G in the box? That's what it is. It's very fast and simple to do that. I like that. All right, then we have other things like indicated G's. We could do that one there, and then this one over here on this side. And then vertical, I'm looking at this column. It seems that there are two possibilities. And then we have this one here and that one. I haven't been doing the G's because of, I don't know why. Wait a second. Look at this box down here. 4, E4, B. But we already know that the only character left is E. So we don't need to worry about it. This is a... You son of a bitch. This box is an E. So we know it can't be E over there. Meaning the B is somewhere else. And the... What's the other number? 4. Like this has to be E, right? So let's see why. Okay, the vertical is blocked. The other vertical is not blocked, so E could be on the bottom, but it's not because it's blocked on the bottom, so therefore it's forced to be here. That's obvious. Then the question is, what is in here besides 4? Well, and also that means that there must be a 4 in this column here. They have to go like here or there. So the question is what's left? And on this side, it's a B. Well, we also have to have a B on this side. So then let's look at B for a second. There doesn't seem to be any indicators of B here. So let's just place a B here and here. And then 7, but we don't have the remainder digit. And also there's an E somewhere. Let's look at E again. E is blocked in everywhere else except for here, so that's an E. Done. And then we have an E in this box because vertical is blocked, the other stuff is blocked. It has to be here. That's correct. And then we have this one. That's the last E. We're done E's. It's so simple. It's just a lot. So we got A, B, A, B. It can't be... Wait. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. It's A, B, and A, B. They're in alternate... There is no other digit. That is what is. So then we know those ones. And B and 4 are up here. What is... How do we find out where that is? So let's look at B for a second and see where we can find another B elsewhere. That's a lot to look through. Okay, so whatever. We figured those ends out. Let's figure out this column. So we're going to go through, it could be G. Obviously, if it could be G and the vertical is blocked, then we have to put a G here. That means the other one is 7. And that's solved. Okay, cool. And up on top, I'm looking at, seems like this is the only 7 there, forcing the last 7 to be here because I had good indicators. But there's a lot of places I don't have good indicators, as you can tell. So there's going to be a lot of stuff happening in a second. The other thing is, could I look at B for a second? Okay, so when I look at B, I think of what can go on the side, what can go on wherever. And I'm seeing a lot of limited options, especially when there are 3 of the boxes. But there's 4 boxes. Interesting. Okay. Well, there's only 2 digits in, let's take it off. This one has only 2 possibilities. So why can an 8 not be in this position? Well, 8 has to be in that row, so therefore the other 8 is here. Why would I not just mark that in? That's an 8. And then we have the last digit, which is of course G. Just randomly shove that in there. And then the last digit is G. And then there's another digit of G up here. It's not G. Oh, that's interesting. So I don't have it written down correctly. Great. Where are all the other G's? Wait, but where else could it be? It could be up top. Oh, it's up top. Got it. This one's G. Whoops. That makes total sense. Everywhere else is the G is blocked. Okay. And then it would look like this has to be a G. Yeah. Not even a guess. Everywhere else was blocked. And then we have this one. And then there are a lot of not indicated correctly which one could be G and which one couldn't be G. Because I guess I didn't go for G a lot. But this box only has, like, if you look at the verticals, they're all blocked. This one, and that one is all blocked. So therefore, if we look at the horizontal, we only have this one. There you go. That's a G. And then on the top must be also a G, and G is done. We are finished with G. Now let's look at A for some reason. It's my next inspiration. Well, it looks like we have everything except for this block as A, and that means this one up top must also be A for some reason, which it's not. It's not there. Okay, interesting. Whoops. So it's the bottom one then. And I make too many mistakes like that, but I was like, I didn't really analyze. And then we have only the other couple places where there could be an A. Let's move on. Is F done? F is not done. Okay, so this one forces an F into here because the other one needs it on the other position. We don't know which one, but we don't need to know because it can't be on that line anywhere else in any of the other boxes. It's blocked everywhere else. And then we have a top side F, it would look like. Can I confirm that? No, there is an alternate, but can we go bottom side F? Let's just pencil in, can it be here, for example? It could be there. And in fact, if it has to be in that column, it could be there. And so I have to mark that as an F, or this as an F. And then if I have to think about it, in order to be in that, let me see, this could be an F, possibly. Pencil that in, and then look at F again. It's blocked everywhere else, so it must be here, actually. And therefore, it must be somewhere else in this box. And then in order to be above, it can't be above in this box. And the only other above space is here. So that forces it to be here. And that means F is almost done. We just have this F remaining, and then we have the remaining digit is B, or is that an 8? That's an 8. So that means that's done. Nice, double reveal. All right. Find this interesting? Consider subscribing. I like to solve these puzzles. Let's look at 2 for a second there. That's shining in my brain. Okay, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Looks like this one's a 2. And then similarly, other box that needs a 2 are these 2 over there. So it's like there's not a lot to go on with that technically. So it's like either or, and of course it has to be one or the other usually. These are almost always unique. Let's switch to 3. 3 is different in the fact that there is no other position it can be in this box. So there is a 3 here. All other positions are blocked, so it's a 3 here. There you go. 3 is solved. Go on to something like A or whatever. Randomly picking A, I'm seeing the same distribution. We need to go somewhere else. Let's look at 4. Again, we're in the similar position, but then the other question is, what about the other 4s in other boxes that are missing? And if I were to look at this, it would seem like there's this one, which could be a 4, and this one, which could be a 4. However, look at other box that needs a 4. We have these 2 positions, which aren't marked, that can be possibly 4, and need a 4, but then they don't need a 2. What's the other digit that that box needs? Then we can force 2 in the top. 2 is in this box. Screw that. It is a 2 up here. We've solved it. Yay. And then can we solve for other 2? No, but we've solved that one. That was a random 2 I didn't even know it needed to be solved. Okay, so what's the last digit in this box that we can then eliminate? Let's go through it. 4, obviously. 5. Okay, 5 is a different one. Didn't expect or think of that. And then we have a couple positions 5 could go into. Let's pencil in 5 in these positions. And then we look at other positions, and we see that most other positions in this, let's stop doing this one, must be 5 because the other positions, show you again, all the other verticals are blocking this position in other boxes. So therefore it must be a 5 here. And then if I look at everywhere else, it must be a 5 here, which is good. And then we have the last 5 here for that. And then we have a 5 up top. And we have a 5 on the bottom of that box. And 5 is complete. Now we can look at F for some reason. F seems blah, 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 blah here. F is complete. That was simple. All right, let's go to B randomly, as we do. A lot of indicators for B except for in that one box, which is correct. This is a B. And then that blocks everything else except for this, which is a B. This must be a B. That must be a B, which solves for 4. Nice. We get that duo going on. Switch back to B for some reason. And then we think of it, for some reason, isn't marked up above because it's blocked by somewhere else. So therefore, it must be a B. And therefore, this must be a B. And B is solved. We're getting so close. Why do I say that every time? It only makes it worse. Anyway, so seems to be a tangent, but there's only a couple places A can be, and then we need to put the other 2 places. And if I were to consider it, what are these other, look at these. So you got 2, 6, 2, 6, and an A. But 2 and 6, if I were to consider it, 6 can't go there, and 2 also can't go there. So therefore, this must be an A. That's nice. And that removes 1 position from A from the top. That's not enough. Clearly, ironically, it's a square, so it's very annoying. And we had to figure out also all these blank ones. For example, this should be very simple. If it's not 8, which means this is an 8. And then if I look at 8, I think this is, what is that? That's a 4? Well, then that must be 4 then. And then this must be also 4. It looked like it was properly labeled and also blocked everywhere else. Is there another 4 I've labeled them? Or if not, deduction can tell me that this is a 4. Don't even have to think about it anymore. That was easy. I was on the trail of 4 and I found it. Nice. Okay, and then we have 4 on the top side, which has, if I were to mark it, it's here is a 4, here is a 4, here. Is that right? It must be 4, and that's a 4. The other number is B is 8. That's not a question. So that's solved, and we're getting there. 8. Okay, so why is it blocked in the other position? Let's look at 8 for a second. It's blocked by the vertical, so it must be here. Nice. And then that makes this 8 here. And then that 8 there. That 8 there, 8 is solved. 7, so on to swimming. Seems to be here. It'd be funny if 7 was solved. It's not, but it is here. So that's now solved. And then we have a bunch of A's, which is now solved because this can't block itself. And then we have a 1 up here. We have a 1 over there. 4, 4. Last digits aren't marked correctly, but this is a 2. So that's cool. 2 is the only thing left besides 6. So therefore it must be a 6 in this empty spot. So for the total time it was an hour or something. And that's whatever. But it's nice to get through that. Took me a couple goes. I would like to have gone through it like in one go. But it's whatever. It is what it is, and whatever. I really don't care about the ad. Yay, 10 money. So I need to unlock master by doing expert mode. So let's go to expert mode. So obviously 9x9 is much smaller. Fortunately, we do have pencil. We have a fast pencil for some fucking reason. So that's going to save us a bunch of time. If I look at that, well, it's obviously a 9. And then if I look at 91918, 8383 forces it to not be 8. So we pencil say not 8. And we also say not 3. Not 3. not 9, not 1, and not 8, not 9. Meaning this must be 4 because that's already 5. I said it must be 4 because that's already 5. Whatever. It's fine. I caught it. I made mistakes. It happens. Blocked in all directions, we have a 4. And then we have another 4. Never mind. We'll look at another digit. Let's look at 8 again for some reason. It's perfect here. And then only here on vertical. And then we don't know. So that's fine. Let's move on to another digit. 5 is here, I guess. 5 is there. You call this an expert? With this, it becomes super, like, translucent, whatever. Like, now there's only a 9 here. There's only, 6, 7. Whatever. This must be not a 9. This cannot be a 1. Forces this to be a 6. Which forces the 7. 6. Nice. And then over here is a 6. Like going from a 16 to an expert and with an easy is like, oh my god, are you trying to make this hard or are you trying to... Never mind. Blah 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 blah. Okay, if 8, 2 is not 8, not 2, not 2. And if 9, 1, we already checked that, so we don't need to worry about it. This is just a blatant 3, so that's done. That's a 1. That's an 8, 7, 2, 8, 3, 1. Looking through for some basic things. Not seeing it. Switch to a number. 2, no. 3, yes. Alright. 3 is not solved, but almost. There's a 2. 92924, considering 4. It must be that the 4 is, well, I don't know. Let's look at 7. Seven starts up here. So that's something, but not enough. And then we have 4 again. Covered, covered, not covered. 7, 2, 3. 3, 7. Well, if 3, 7 must be there. 4, 9, 2, 9, 2. Oh, why am I so stuck on here? I shouldn't be stuck. Let's look at 4. Okay. 9. All these 9s in various configurations really are annoying. Look at 8. 8 is just here. There you go. Done. 8 is actually done. Oh shit. Let's look at 1. No. 3. 3 should be simple, but it's not quite. Why can't I solve for that? It's like you got the 3 on one side, the 4 on the other side, and then the 9. And then you got the 3 on the one side, the 4 on the other side, and then the 9. And 7s. Let's actually look at 4. Okay, so it's all on this side, and it's a trinary between the 3 of them. Why can't I see it? That's crazy. This is the thing that's slowing me down. Just that. And what am I not seeing? Look at 9. God, 9 is everywhere. Look at 2. Everything was going so smoothly until we get to this point where I'm like, I can't see a damn thing. Can you? Nothing in particular. Look at 1. 1 has got to be the clue to this, you'd think, but it's not because it's so like one or the other. God, why can't I see it? 7 and 9 alternate. 7, 9, 1, 7, 1, 9. Wait. Oh God, I should be able to remove something. Some stupid noise that's just frustrating me and I can't find it. 9, 2? 9, 2, 4? No. 9292 doesn't help. 9292 doesn't help. 7 free. 4 doesn't mean anything. 9197 9293 739 91191. This is the other 91. That's the other 91. 772. This is making me feel a little bit crazy here. Because I should be able to see it. And I can't binary like I can in the other game. So I'm kind of like, why do I want to just take a hint and then just move on? I hate this. How can I be stuck like this? Just one hint would solve all of this, and I don't want to do it. If I chose 9, and then this is 2, and this is a 9, that's a 2, 4. Like choosing to pop these wouldn't help anything. God damn it. But it's the 9s that would solve everything, or it's the 2s that would solve everything. If I could just find a weakness. Look at 3 again. We only have those 2 positions that 3 can go into. And also, I don't remember, but I think this game includes the potential of multiple answers, which makes it really frustrating, which means you either have the right answer or you have the wrong answer. Okay, let's pretend this. 7, 9, 7, right? Must. And then 4, 4, 7, 9. Well, if I do a 7 here, it'll be the answer. That just solves everything else. Pretty much. Because then we have the 7 here, the 3 there, which goes up to this 9, this 2, 3, frick. Just like guessing. And then the rest is just cascade. But it's like it's hinged on one thing, and if you guess right, then you got it. And it's like, I didn't deduce anything. I don't like not deducing anything. That 4 is not where I predicted it was going to be. Okay, that's an expert done in under 10 minutes. Okay, so expert done in under 12 minutes. Best time is 7. Whatever. We're not going to do a best next game because my battery is actually dead. But we did that. We solved it. Oh god, I didn't realize there was time pressure as well. That's fun. Whatever. See you next time.